All right, so a net neutrality update. I want to go here because there's been some confusion about what exactly happened in California. And I want to clarify it to the best of my ability. And you guys have already been tweeting some great stuff, so we're going to move rapidly. One net neutrality wins, another loses in California legislature. All right. So I just discovered this guy. This is a guy named Steve Blum. And he is awesome on these issues. I found him on Twitter. I followed him. And I messaged him because I said I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to know you. And he followed me back. So I might look into having the guy on the show or see if he has any interest in my task force. But anyway, let's get to this first. So over the weekend, there was a little bit of, oh, did we actually get net neutrality in California? So here, this really sums it up. Okay, Senate Bill 822, this passed the California Senate. A second one, SB 460, failed in the Assembly. So SB 822, as we talked about, that reinstates the net neutrality rules. That's what that does. It reinstates net neutrality. So what's the difference between SB 460 and SB 822? Well, SB 822 is just the net neutrality bill that reinstates net neutrality for consumers in the state of California. SB 460 requires that government agencies only work with internet service providers that abide by net neutrality. And that one failed. Now, that was just sort of an accompanying bill. There wasn't a lot of coverage about it. And we just kind of thought they would go hand in hand. But that bill failed. So why is it an issue that that bill failed? Well, because of this right here. SB 22, the net neutrality bill, will be challenged in federal court, and it's not certain it will survive. Supporters say it's crafted in such a way that federal judges will bless it, but there are very good arguments on the other side that say they won't. On the other hand, SB 460 would have set down rules for spending California taxpayers' money, which is solidly within state authority. So here's the summary. SB 822 gave us net neutrality in California, and that is waiting to be signed by Governor Jerry Brown. SB 460 was an accompanying bill that was tentative on 822 passing, and that bill requires all state entities to only work with ISPs that are abiding by net neutrality. And that got shot down. So this is relevant because when SB 822 is challenged in court, and it will be challenged in court, it would have an easier time holding up if SB 460 was passed. I hope I didn't mix up those numbers. But if the other net neutrality bill was passed, it would have an easier time for 822 to hold up because that bill went into how taxpayer money is being spent. So basically, the accompanying net neutrality bill that didn't pass would have helped the overall net neutrality bill when it's taken to court. And a lot of people are saying we're still okay. We're still going to be fine. But that's just something to be wary of. So that's the summary of what's going on there. So yes, overall net neutrality went through the Senate on Friday. It's waiting for a signature from Governor Jerry Brown. The accompanying net neutrality bill that will require state agencies to only work with net neutrality abiding internet service providers, that didn't pass. Why is that an issue? Because when it's taken to court, it'll have a harder time holding up. When SB 822, the overall net neutrality bill, when that's taken to court, it'll have a harder time holding up now. That's the summary. And what's the permanent fix for all this? Still, municipal broadband across the country. And that's why I'm working on a task force to get municipal broadband here in Southern California, starting with my own neighborhood in Pasadena. Our next step is we're trying to get a proposal to the city council. So we're doing the research and the legwork to make that happen. And again, if this is of interest to you, go to my website, ronplacone.com, email me. There's a thing that's a contact. It says contact Ron, email Ron. Email me and tell me you want to be part of it. And, there's people working on different task force in different parts of the country. I'm working on one here because this is where I live. And this is the permanent fix for net neutrality. Because even if we have state-level net neutrality protections are great. They're important. Every protection out there is great. However, the permanent fix is municipal broadband. Because I guarantee it, we're going to have this fight again 3 years from now. 3 years from now, we're going to be doing the same thing. So that's a summary on what's really going down with net neutrality. I hope that helps with any confusion. But again, that Steve Blum guy, really great writer on net neutrality. I recommend following his stuff.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know